Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble Deadmines dungeon guide, I'm going to look at Deadmines on a Horde week and specifically going to take a look at Sneed. This completes my Deadmines Horde coverage. I managed to clear a 19 with Cairne, with Grommash and with Sneed. And with Sneed I got so close to clearing that 20 as well. I'm going to show you footage of that, but I could do it if I just had more time to put more tries in. As you will see, it's really close, but I don't have more time. I have to get this video out there. Anyway, Horde Week, Deadmines, the best armies, featuring Sneed. First, let's recap the boss mechanics. First, we have Mr. Smite here. Sabers and pistols then anchors away, and Mr. Smite it's really a tough fight because Mr. Smite is going to get so much stuff for free. All of this stuff is going to respawn for free. These device bandits are going to respawn for free. There's going to be Stonehoof torrents that are going to come through this pipe. They're also going to be free, and that's in addition to everything that Mr. Smite has to actually pay gold for. So that's a big challenge. My main strategy for Mr. Smite is to take this meeting stone and control this area where there's 2 gold nodes. There's 1 gold vein over there on the other side. But I want to control this and I want to push at Mr. Smite from this side. And I'm mostly focused on defending the other side. There are various methods to defend that. Some people like to use like wellbecks that they drop on the pipe to intercept the torrents. You can split your footmen, for example, here. There's a few things that you can do to defend, but hit from the right and kill Mr. Smite. The second boss in Deadmines is Cookie, and Cookie is also going to get a ton of stuff for free just like Mr. Smite, although this is in some ways a little bit more manageable for him, because there's going to be these strike teams, and they're going to come from the left and then from the right, and then they're going to go down the same lane. So you need some way to handle this strike team. Some people use like Flameburst Wellbeck, some people use Living Bomb, some people use Blizzard. Living Bomb is my personal favorite. With a Living Bomb, if you use it when they're near the tower, then they may blow up the tower depending on the level of your Living Bomb. If you use it already when they're here near the Cookie, then they will also damage Cookie when they blow up. So Living Bomb is just what I love to use in this map. I typically only take this leftmost tower. There's a couple of chests here and you have access to mining this. That means blow up stuff with Living Bomb and push at Cookie. Taking the other towers, some other strategies too, but that's the one that I like to use. And finally, the third boss in Deadmines is Sneed, and Sneed's main mechanic is these copying pads. Whenever these pads sparkle, the next mini that's going to step on them is going to be destroyed, and it's going to be made into multiple copies that come from here under Sneed's control. Sneed also has Molten Giants, so if you let a Molten Giant get on the pad when it's sparkly, and then there's going to be a whole bunch of Molten Giants, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. There's a couple of things about this map. One is that this bridge is actually really important, because if you control this bridge and if you have ranged minis on this bridge, then they will shoot down at whatever comes out from here. So I've actually defeated Molten Giant pushes by just having minis shoot from here and then killing the Molten Giants. And another thing is that you actually have some control over what's going to be copied, because if you use Unbound minis, you can just drop Unbound minis here when the platform becomes sparkly, and then that mini is going to be copied. Or you can use Unbound minis to distract the Molten Giant to prevent it from getting copied. It's also a good idea to send miners constantly over the bridge. Mine this, go over the bridge, because then your miners will often end up being copied. So you can work around this mechanic a bunch. Other than that, I like to push left, I like to take this tower, then I take this tower, and then I push at Sneed from here, and then Sneed will die unless too many bad things get copied and I somehow get overwhelmed by those. This is the army that I have been using with Sneed. It's almost the same as with the other leaders. Actually, I ended up using pretty similar armies for all leaders. We have the Shaman, we have Batrider, we have Quillboar this time. I've used Defias Bandits with other leaders, but with Sneed, there's that siege damage slot. And you can't get a bonus on the siege damage slot unless you use something like Earth Elemental, which was too expensive, or Warsong Raider, which was too fast, and I just could not find a suitable mini to be used that would gain benefit from the siege damage slot, so I ended up putting the Quillboar over there. And then I have Safe Pilot, I have Footmen, I have Whelps. So pretty much the same strategies as with others. Footmen can be split push in the first boss, and Footmen can also just hold back a lot of foes. Then I have the Whelpex, I have Safe Pilot, so I have some Unbound power. This time I have a little bit more Unbound power because I also have the Quillboar. And it seems to me that the way to complete a really hard third boss on this requires unbound spamming. So Flame Whelps, Safe Pilot, Quillbore. I think that is going to be the only way that I can beat Sneed at the end if it's really hard. Like this is 17.9, so beating that 20 Sneed would require that. So that's what it has to take. And then Shaman is there to heal. Shaman obviously doesn't have a lot of armored things here going because Footmen are already armored, Sneed is already armored. And then I have Batrider for damage. And this is what it all looks like in action. So here we go, Sneed versus Mr. Smite. Let's open up with Footmen. We go for a split push, getting Footmen on both directions. I want to kill that miner, and meanwhile I could kill those other minis as well. Now, unfortunately, things start spawning from the meeting stone, so I want to get rid of that. I have the Quillbore hitting the Mountaineer from behind, getting access to the meeting stone, hopefully. I have the Batrider giving some DPS support. Now there's also some Spiderlings coming, but with the Batrider there, I'm confident that I can take it. I changed the direction of my Footmen to go over the bridge. There's really no reason for them to go all the way to the left side, so I can still make use of them by having them go over the bridge. That's one of the things that I have learned over the past couple of days now that I have been repeating this. I defend against the Tauren with the Whelp eggs, and Whelp eggs are doing a spectacular job there. I'm able to stop the mining, so everything looks pretty good. Now just need to remember to switch the direction there. And now, with everything going so well, I'm able to get a full Footman push on the boss instead of using them defensively. There's a lot of gold up for grabs. I have a lot of power on the attack. Things are looking really, really good. Now, because this attack is going so well, I decided not to defend against the Tauren, but to put all in on this attack. Well, I mean, I can still end up defending if I want to. But now that the attack is going so well, I'll check, okay, how far is the Tauren? Do I still have time? I determine, yes, there is still enough time. I'm just going to push the attack. And here we go, the troll and friends spawn just in time there, but which is a little awkward. And now Smite decides, hey, I've had enough. I'm just going to let my henchmen handle you. But Smite cannot escape the Whelp eggs, and Smite goes down. Then it's time to meet Cookie, and this time I'm offered Sneed at the start, which is wonderful because Sneed opens chests like a pro. There we go, Sneed against chest. And just look at that gold pouring in. That is going to give me a great start here. I want Sneed to also go and open the other chest. There's an attack coming, but I am well in time to defend against that. This time using the Whelpex a little bit closer to my own base, using the Safe Pilot a little bit closer to my own base, so that we get that attack down. And look at that Sneed against the tower. Sneed and soloed the tower on the other side, and that means that the rest of my army can focus on this leftmost tower. So this is just a wonderful start to the game. And now we're trying to push in. There's a Griffin Rider. I don't have a lot of anti-air here, but I believe I have enough there. So I decided I'm actually going to make a push for the rightmost tower now, when I have a chance. And also cycle Sneed to open chests, because Sneed chests, that's just pure gold. Now we have the other tower, but we have the good push coming in here, and we're able to take down the attack, and Sneed just keeps getting gold and keeps getting some levels as well, although with Sneed being 17 at the start, so minus 3 levels compared to this, so even after getting 2 levels, Sneed is still below the level of the dungeon. But my push is successful, and I actually managed to get all 3 towers within the first minute and a half, and that is going to spell a disaster for Cookie, because now I'm pressing the attack, and just Whelpex on the incoming teams, and attack is coming in from both sides. And when there's chance, Sneed is my chest opener, and that works just beautifully. And here goes Sneed against Cookie. Good fight going on. Cookie taking tons of damage. And yeah, it starts to look like it's over, and boom, Cookie goes down. But there's one more obstacle left. Sneed itself. And here we go against Sneed on lower difficulty levels. This can still be done just by attacking Sneed. Take the tower, attack Sneed. Now that we're on a plus 2.1, I think that the only way that I can beat this is unbound spam. And what I have struggled here with is that I first need to stabilize, and then I would need to start the unbound spam. But I have been taking too long to stabilize, and then my unbound start too late. This is as close as I have been able to get. So here we go, but even taking a simple tower with level 18 footmen against level 20 torrents and ogre mages, it's not simple. Now, another ogre mage. Quillbore, come save me. Yes, Quillbore distracts the attention just enough. And alright, here we're luckily able to get the miner instead of that mountain giant coming from the copying machine, which means that mountain giant can be handled by the whelps. And stabilization is starting. And this is the moment where I really should start putting a lot more focus into getting unbound spam on Sneed. I think this would be the moment. I'm not sure if taking that tower is even necessary. Unbound spam on Sneed should begin here. So that was my strategic mistake on this one. But I wasn't able to stabilize quite as well on subsequent tries, so I just couldn't do it in time. Need more iterations and then it would come, but this is when the unbound spam should start, but I am still trying to push the tower here. Maybe pushing, I'm actually a little uncertain, because there is a lot of gold to be gained from the tower, so that is an upside. Keep sending miners down the middle, down the ramp, so sometimes you get situations like this when the miner gets copied, which is wonderful news. And it's really important to send those miners, although here, of course, those 3 gold nuggets are so attractive. At the very latest here, I should now start. This should be unbound on Sneed. Wellbecks, everything should be going to Sneed right now. So, yeah. Bit too defensive minded here, because at this point, this works if this worked against the 19 when I was 17.9. Against 19, this defensive approach still worked. But against 20, it starts to be a little bit awkward. There I should have, of course, dropped the Quillbore on the pad to prevent the Molten Giant from being copied. But this does show that even when Molten Giant gets copied, if you have control of the bridge, like I have here, then it is not a disaster. It's still fine. Now I end up actually losing the tower, though, because my attention lapsed a little bit. Yeah, this is... And this unbound should really, really be going at Sneed. Because this would be a win if those unbounds were sent at Sneed instead of being sent for defensive purposes. That defense was not absolutely mandatory. And this is a bit of a disaster, though. Shaman getting copied. So now I'm facing an army of shamans who are all healing each other and turning each other armored. So... And this is where I lost my window of opportunity, really, in this fight. Up to this point, it was quite alright. Well, now we're in overtime. Well, we're still alive, so that's a thing. Being alive is good. And we're actually starting to kill some of those shamans, which is wonderful. So, shamans start to die, and I'm alive, and I get some gold, and I get some of that sweet overtime gold as well. And I managed to handle all the shamans. But now Sneed is still at full health, so this is where I should have started this unbound spam a lot earlier. Now I'm starting to get some unbounds on Sneed. Here we go, here we go. Sneed starts to take some damage. I'm trying to cycle really quickly my other minis and just send the cheapest minis out there and keep sending unbounds at Sneed. And this is really what I should have started like 30 seconds earlier. Because do you see how quickly Sneed's health starts to go down here? When I can just spam unbounds on him. If I had started that at the start of overtime, Sneed would have gone down, but now it ended up a draw. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.